Oh my gosh, that is so surprising. What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel and happy almost Easter. I want to say I'm posting this the day before Easter, but maybe it's Easter. As you can see, I decided to make my first laminated pasta. I have put flower petals and basil leaves in between two thin layers of pasta, rolled it out together, cut it up, and that was it. I can't believe it worked, and I can't believe how beautiful this looks. I'm really excited to try this brown butter. I bought edible lavender, like cooking lavender, to add to the brown butter. I know lavender can be one of those flavors. That's why I was saying I'm so surprised with this, because this is a lavender kombucha and it's so good. Flower flavored things can tend to be a little perfumey if there is too much of it used. This is amazing though, absolutely amazing. And I had read that lavender and lemon pair well together. I had some Meyer lemons, so I was like throwing that in. Threw in some pecorino for good measure. I actually had saved some pasta water in case I was gonna need to add to the sauce, but I think that this turned out great, honestly. And obviously all of the flowers are edible, so I can kind of pick them up and eat them with the pasta if I want. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, guys, really excited to dig in. I'm like wearing pink, how springy. Oh! Like, first of all, can we just admire the pasta? Like, look at it. Look at that basil leaf. It's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm honestly just... I'm not sure if I'm shocked or impressed. Maybe a little bit of both. Pat on the back for Lindsay. Alright guys, this might be like a one noodle at a time situation. So excited. Cheers. I feel like I can't taste too much lavender, which I guess it's better that way than tasting too much. So for next time, maybe I'll add a little bit more lavender and maybe some more lemon juice as well. But hey, the brown butter, oh my gosh, it's so toasty and I mean buttery, obviously. It just has that like kind of caramelized deep flavor that you don't get from just like standard butter, and it just feels like it's been kissed with something. These two might have cooked together. Let me see if I can separate them. Woo! There we go. All right, I feel like I should get a flower in this bite, right? So pretty. And you know, it wasn't perfect. I had some ripples in the pasta. I had some pieces of flour that were kind of sticking out. It's fine. It all worked out. The flowers taste great. They're not a very strong flavor at all, but what they do bring to the table is kind of a, I don't want to say grassy because it definitely doesn't taste like grass. It's got this very delicate kind of, not crunch, but like a little bit of a crisp texture to it. The pasta itself has a really great texture, still chewy. I had it in boiling water for about 2 minutes, and then when I added it to the brown butter, it continued to cook just a tiny bit. So it ended up being perfect, actually. Mmm. I got a piece of basil in that one. You really, really taste the basil. It makes me want to do like an all herb one. Ooh, I have to do that. Like a heavy on the lemon sauce with it too. I think Shane's gonna like this kombucha too. He's very picky, but his favorite is a hibiscus strawberry. So I feel like maybe he will really, really love the lavender. I mean, it doesn't taste flowery at all. It just got this like hint of it. And it's fairly sweet, but not too sweet. I mean, it's got 10 grams of sugar in the whole bottle, so kind of a lot of sugar for kombucha. The other one we buy, I want to say, is like 6 grams of sugar, and that's by Clearly Kombucha, though our grocery store has like been out of it, so I don't know if they're like not getting it in anymore. It'll make Shane very sad. Oh my gosh. I definitely, for spring too, I won't wait too long before I do another one of these. An all herb laminated pasta. Oh my gosh, guys. And really just like the lemon butter, maybe some white wine. I want you guys to still be able to like see the pattern. So I don't want to add anything with too much color, no like chunks of anything, you know? Mmm. Some of these pieces are jagged, but they're all like super strong. They're holding up. They're not falling apart. I really was expecting some of the lamination to not hold, like for some of like the flowers to fall out, the water to get in between the layers and kind of, you know, ruin things. I don't see that having happened anywhere, even in the places that there was like some puncture in the actual pasta and you could like see the basil underneath or the flour underneath. I'm like really surprised actually. Look at how pretty it is. P.S. I don't know if this is like the exact thickness for Pappardelle or not. Pappardelle is what I was going for. They might be a little wider, and Pappardelle is like supposed to be whatever. It's just, I mean, it looks so cool. So you guys notice how much butter I put in. I realized that I forgot to measure out what I needed because it was supposed to be a little bit less. So like towards the end I was like, oh, I'm just gonna yank this out of here. Like about the amount I was looking for, which was like 1 stick of butter basically. Which, yes, is a lot of butter. I'm not eating this much butter every day. And not all the butter makes it out of the pan, first of all. What am I doing here? Considerable amount ends up staying on the plate too. So you don't end up eating all of the butter that goes in. Man. So I was looking for edible flowers like everywhere. I thought for sure Whole Foods or something would have them, like a specialty food store. I couldn't find them anywhere. Granted, I was like not going to every individual place. I was like, please just say it online if you're there or not. So I ended up finding a website that listed a few other sites that you could get fresh flowers from that were obviously edible. And so I ended up buying a couple packs of these, and then they like have to overnight it to you. So it's a little pricey to try to get the edible varieties, because you can't just like go to Home Depot or, you know, the landscape section of anywhere and grab some flowers and throw them in your food. They've likely got pesticides on them. That's not something you want to eat. So these do not have pesticides. They are safe to eat. Don't worry. And the basil is actually from my little basil plant over there on the window, which I'm like just barely keeping alive. I've got one that's like self-sustainable. It just like you add water to the base and it just like does everything that you need it to do for you. It comes with this like light situation. But yeah, I've got another basil plant that's sitting like right above it basically. I always forget to water it. I feel like maybe I overwater it and then underwater it. I don't know. I just don't know what they need, guys. I do not have a green thumb. I don't have that kind of like intuition about it, you know? By the way, oh my gosh, almost forgot to mention this. So Shane and I watched Cowspiracy, or started to watch Cowspiracy, which is made by the same people that made Seaspiracy, but it's actually like much older, and I didn't realize that it even existed until after we watched Seaspiracy. So we watched it, and almost right away Shane's like, let me fact check this because it doesn't seem right. Like what they're saying like just doesn't seem possible. And sure enough, like he fact checked it and it was completely wrong. Like they were taking the data and they were like manipulating it in a way that made it more favorable for their point. And I was like, great. So basically like that could have been happening with Seaspiracy, right? So I started looking into, and Shane started looking into Seaspiracy and like the other side of the coin basically. And what we found is, and heard from other sources, are that they were using like outdated footage for some of their clips, that they weren't showing all of their interviews, just the ones that made the people look like they were hiding something. The guy that was interviewed about the label, and he seemed to like know nothing, and he seemed like a very sweet guy to be fair, but he like was like not giving any answers to anything. Yeah, apparently he did, and he like released a statement saying that he said all of these things, but they just like didn't include it in the documentary. And it makes you angry, right? Like apparently the thing in Japan really is happening, and it's like been happening for a really long time, and they actually had like an entire series about it. There's actually a whole documentary dedicated just to that situation. So like, yeah, Japan killing dolphins, it is happening and it's awful. But I was talking to my local fishmonger that I get all of my fresh seafood from, and he's actually started as like a sustainability trainer someplace else. And he was telling me like all of this stuff, basically just like debunking what they said, how it's like complete nonsense. And like while everybody, including the like fisheries and everyone, are all working for like towards sustainability, and there's like not a perfect system in place, it is certainly not to the extent that the documentary made it seem. And stopping eating seafood would actually do more harm than good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another video, like a response video, so to say. I took some notes from my conversation with my buddy, and I need to like put everything kind of together so that I can more or less present it to you. And I'm also going to be featuring a farmed fish that is very eco-friendly, and explain why, and maybe what you guys can be looking for when you go and purchase seafood yourself. So oh man, like all I want to do is believe, like, if you put a documentary out, I have to believe that somebody is like fact checked this information, right? That like Netflix wouldn't allow something like that on their platform if they were like blatantly lying to you. Like, who regulates this stuff? You know, it just doesn't seem fair. And I know I said it in my last video about politics too. It's like everything that they say, it's like, you know, it's not the full story. Well, apparently, like, we can't trust anybody, guys. So keep that in mind. Like, I was fooled, obviously, and I'm sure the truth is someplace in the middle, but please, when you're watching these documentaries, do not believe every single thing they say. Know that it's probably someplace in the middle. And yeah. What are we supposed to do? I just don't even know. Last bite, I never finished. This is probably a really bad decision. I am actually going to dinner tonight with my friend, and I had to film this morning. So, yeah. Oh man. All right, guys. Well, that was obviously my last bite. I mean, I suppose I could eat the flowers, but you know. Absolutely love the concept. As far as the flowers are concerned, they don't really have a whole lot of flavor, and I really should have been a little bit more heavy-handed with the lavender and the lemon. And that's okay. I really love the concept. I'm definitely going to try this brown butter again with both the lavender and the lemon to perfect it. I'll note what I did in the description. Just know that it's not like a finished recipe yet. And as far as lamination goes, I definitely want to choose things that have a little bit more flavor in them the next time. That way the pasta, you know, already has all this flavor inside of it, and then the sauce can just add to it. I'm just real excited for this lemon herb situation. Comment below what you thought about my first time making laminated fresh pasta. Have you guys made laminated pasta before? What did you think of it if you did make it, or maybe have you had it from somebody else? Comment below what other springtime dishes you want to see me make. And I have got to let y'all go because I actually have to leave for the airport in, like, no joke, like 20 minutes. I'm going to Atlanta for like 2 days, coming back. So yeah, I gotta let y'all go. Thank you so much for joining today. You guys know how much I appreciate you, the time that you take to spend with me. It just means a lot, guys. Comment below all of the things, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.